federal trial for his attempt on the president's life last year. So how should lawmakers respond to this mounting political violence? With me now, North Carolina Republican Congressman Greg Murphy. Thank you, sir, for your time on this Saturday morning. We appreciate it. I want to get your thoughts on this very heavy moment that we're in the country and going forward and how we can bridge divides and calm the rhetoric in the country.
Yeah, Molly, this is a gut punch of gut punches. You know, everybody remembers where they were on 9/11. Now everybody will remember when they heard, that Charlie had been assassinated. And it really takes a step back in this world of flat screens and social media, where basically we have avatars of our lives. We have games that we kill people. This is a time where humanity needs to stand up. It needs to stand up and say, no, we're not going to be this way. We're not going to act this way. Everybody who disagrees with you is not by definition evil. You can disagree with him. You can be upset with him. You can be, in a very different frame point. But it doesn't mean they're evil. And we've had such increasing racial divide. We've had other divides in our country. And I believe fueled really by mainstream media and by social media, for that matter. We also know that Russia and China are really fomenting a lot of this social media violence. But it's time for, really, I believe a Christ-like moment is to stand up and say, no, we as humanity are better than this. And sadly enough, in Congress, where life is about debate, where it's about me being right and you being wrong, it's a very, very challenging environment for that to happen. But this is where the adults need to come into the room and say, yes, we can disagree, but we don't need to be disagreeable. And God forbid, we don't need to take it to the level of violence.
When you talk about social media, you seem to be at least a little bit echoing something that the governor brought into this. Governor Cox out in Utah talked about talking directly to the young people across the country, which is what Charlie Kirk really dedicated his life to, beyond Christ and the family and all of these young people that he brought together in spaces for open dialogue. What would you say to America's youth that have now witnessed this horrific killing going forward?
Yeah, Molly, good Lord. I mean, there's nothing more graphic than what happened to him. I wish that networks had just panned off immediately. But sadly enough, when people have been playing these video games where, people die, et cetera, people become immune to them. It's time to put the phones down, and it's time to look up and start actually having human conversations again. It's time, rather than text, it's rather than we should be calling. We should be talking with one another rather than being literally as an objective third party in our lives on social media. It is really, really hard. I don't know how the hell we ever put this genie back in the bottle, but we have to use this as a crucible moment. We have to use this as a time of reckoning, to say, look, it is time that we stop and we back up from the rhetoric. And it's going to take, and Charlie was on college campuses, and I say this, it is going to be incumbent upon college professors who have positions of authority, college presidents who have positions of authority, to bring this down on college campuses. And, we've seen a lot of firings of individuals because of the rhetoric that they've unbelievably brought up forth in this instance. But again, it's time for moral clarity. We are better than this as humans. We have learned from this as humans, and we cannot be that Charlie's life was in vain. He died for a reason for us. We have to take this, rather. We have to take the reason of his death and be a better human race for it.
Congressman, thank you. Beautifully said. I almost hate to change the topic to some of the business that's coming up in Washington. There's still so much work to be done. There's a government shutdown deadline at the end of this month. You need to pass this massive funding package you have till September 30th. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says that he's willing to risk a shutdown now if Republicans don't meet with Democrats' demands, specifically on health care. Do you think that the government will remain open, or that we'll see this shutdown?
I hope so. I hope Chuck Schumer takes this moment, actually. Also, I think all of us can take this moment, actually, to dial things back a little bit. Nobody wants a shutdown. We all, again, this is what politics is about. We all get in our corners and we want our things. But we have to look for common ground. And this is where we just don't need the vitriol and the rhetoric on the far sides really destroying what this great experiment in democracy is about. There are things, the premium tax credits that are come due at the end of the year. I think there's some middle ground we can find. We can get rid of the fraud and abuse. I think there are some middle grounds. This is what America wants. Yeah, we want to get in our corners and we do want to fight. But at the end of the day, we also want safety for our family. We want a job. We want education. We want all these things that this great country can provide. I pray that we use this moment as again, learning and extrapolating in so many different areas that we can actually do the good of America again.
Congressman Greg Murphy, thank you very much for your insights on this Saturday. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
God bless.
Coming up, President Trump's crime crackdown is headed